Hi there everybody, got the perfect recipe for a cold winter's day. We're going to be making some Cornish pasties today. So what you're going to need for that is a couple of eggs. We're going to need 300 grams of salted butter, some ground pepper, salt, a little bit of flour for dusting, an onion, a swede, a potato, and if you want to make them traditional Cornish pasties with meat, you are also going to need 200 grams of skirt beef, and finally we're going to use some ready rolled short crust pastry. So you can buy it in a pack like that. That's perfect for what we're going to do. We're not going to make it from scratch. We're going to use the ready rolled stuff just so it's a little bit easier for us to do in our time period. Right, first process you've got to do is sort out all of these vegetables. So we've got to peel and dice the swede first of all. So we're going to need to top and tail it first of all. Once we've done that, we need to peel all of that skin off. So I'll come back to you in a second when I've got all that peeled. Okay guys, obviously I made sure all my work area was clean and tidy, and I should be taking off my jewellery and rings as we go. And keep on workplace tidy, so I'm going to get rid of all of those peelings. And once I've got my swede peeled, I'm going to dice that down. So I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to slice along there vertically. Once I've sliced along the swede vertically, I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to use that claw method to hold it down. I'm going to slice horizontally along the swede, but not go all the way through it. And I'm going to do that again a little bit higher. And then I'm going to dice down. And that will create nice little diced sections of swede. They can go straight into my mixing bowl. So I'm going to carry on dicing this swede up. This is exactly the same to the potato, so we're going to get the potato peeled and then diced in exactly the same way. A little bit easier to peel the potato, the skin's not quite as hard. And we're going to dice the potato in exactly the same way, so I'm going to use my bridge method over the top of the potato to slice it in half. I'm then going to do my vertical slicers, my horizontal slicers, and my second vertical slicers using my claw method, so my knife is against my knuckles, not cutting into my fingers, with my fingertips pointing backwards for the safest way of doing it. And finally, exactly the same again with the onion. So, top and tail, slice in half, let's get rid of the rubbish, peel that top layer of skin off the onion, same process of cutting again. So vertical cuts, horizontal cuts, and finally the second vertical cuts. Right, now these are going to be beef Cornish pasties, so I'm going to tidy all this away, get my vegetable stuff out of the way. I'm also going to swap chopping boards, because rather than cooking vegetables which we cut on a brown chopping board, we are moving over onto meat or fresh meat which we chop on a red chopping board. Just helps you keep track of the different things that you cut in, so you're not cross-contaminating anything. So bring the meat over, give my hands a quick rinse. Now this is 200 grams of beef skirt, and this is also going to be finely cut, so I'm going to use that claw method again. So put my fingers down, knife against there, so it's cutting down the side of my knuckle rather than cutting into my fingers. And I'm just going to cut this into approximately 15mm strips. Once I've cut it into 15mm strips, I'm then going to cut that down into more of a cube shape. So once they're cut, I'm going to cut again, and that meat is going again straight into my vegetables. Okay, that's all my raw meat done, so I'm going to take my knife and get a board, get them out of the way. Give my work area a quick bit of a wipe down. And with these being traditional Cornish pasties, they also need a little bit of flavouring adding in there. So we're going to use a teaspoon of salt, which we're going to add in there. And Cornish pasties are renowned for their kind of really strong peppery flavour. So let's get some pepper in there. Don't be afraid to go sparse on the pepper, get quite a bit in there, and then we're going to get that a good mix around, so we've got a good mix of everything. Now, previous video, I've done a video on Indian samosas, where we actually cooked down a lot of the fillings and the ingredients before they were baked, because they only actually bake in phyllo pastry and only bake for about 15 minutes. Whereas a Cornish pasty, we're using short crust pastry, and it bakes for a lot longer. It's going to bake for about 50 minutes. So the traditional way of doing it is that all the ingredients go in raw and they cook inside the pasty, which is why we're not cooking any of these ingredients down first. Some people will add a little bit of moisture, some people will add things like gravy into this mix as well to make it a bit more moist. But because of its non-cooked time, and because it's also going to have a little bit of butter in there, they tend to moisten up enough on their own, and you don't really need to add any gravy to it. Or traditional Cornish pasty wouldn't have any extra gravy added to it. So that's that fully mixed. Moving on to the next stage. Right, the next stage is to start actually filling the pasties. So I've bought some ready rolled short crust pastry. So I'm going to open this out. It just saves time to use this ready rolled pastry rather than making your own and doing it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bowl. I'm going to take around about 20 centimetre bowl. Place that there. I'm going to get a knife and I'm going to cut around there. To get my Cornish pasty shape, so I'm just going to cut that area out there. Get my bowl back off. Before I take this off that paper, I'm going to put a light bit of dusting on my work surface so it doesn't stick. Peel off my disc of pastry. That that's going to go onto there. Just get a bit of that flour over it so it doesn't stick. Then I'm going to take some of my pasty filling. And I'm not going to put it in the centre, I'm going to put it almost over to 1/3 side of the centre. I also don't want to overfill it. If I overfill it, it's going to burst while it bakes. Right, and this is the The next part I'm going to need is a little bit of egg wash. I'm going to use the egg wash to help stick it together and also to give it a nice glaze on the top. So, 1 egg mixed up. Yourself a brush. Dab it around the edge where it's going to stick. Fold your pasty over. I'm just going to push down with my fingers so I can see little finger marks all the way around the edge. Make sure it all seals. So that's it sealed, and here's this is the technique to crimp. This is the key part, this is the traditional part of a Cornish pasty. Take your thumb, take 2 fingers, press together, fold over, remove your thumb. Move your thumb along, pinch, fold over. Move your thumb along, pinch, fold over. Move your thumb along, pinch, fold over. And then carefully put your pasty on the baking tray and repeat for your second one. Bit of egg wash on the top. And these are going to go in the oven at 160 degrees. So it's a low temperature bake, 160 degrees for about 50 minutes. So it's low temperature but a long time bake. And we'll come back and check on those a little bit later to see how they've done. Right guys, it's been about 50 minutes, they've been baking in the other oven, so let's see how they've done. And there we go. Got a really nice golden colour on the top, nice shine has been created from the egg wash. I'm no expert at doing the crimping, but I'm quite impressed with my effort on that one there. It's crimped over really nicely, and that one's got a really nice filling in it. A little bit of cracking on that one there. So yeah, not bad effort. Have a go at those at home, and I look forward to seeing you putting any pictures up to show me how you've done.